See, contemplate this. There's always two sides. There's always two sides to the coin, you could say. So on one side, you have, most of you aware of the concept about spiritual bypassing, right? They say don't just become a non-dual and say like there's nobody here and nothing to bypass and nothing to do and there you go, right? That's spiritual bypassing. So that's one side. Now the other side though is being too identified with, you can say, shadow work, working on your trauma, obsessed with the, trying to balance the human body mind out. That can be too much too, because there's no end. Why? Because there's no ultimate perfect balance. You can always embellish more on the human mind, human self. So, first thing, which side are you on? We all have some shortcoming. There's no getting around this. That's why I like 12-step programs. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory. And when we're wrong, we admit it. So you check yourself. It can be subtle, but we all have shortcomings. Every saint, every master, every single entity that has a form has some shortcomings because the form is not perfect. You have some people who are too passive. They're just too passive. They need to stand up for themselves more. They need to assert themselves more. Okay, they need to work on that. Then you have people, because they have too much water element, earth element. Then you have the other side, which is too aggressive, too much fire element. They get overboard with things like somebody says something to them they don't like, they're ready to throw down. Whereas the passive person, they just keep it inside. Inside they're throwing down, but they don't express it. Aggressive person expresses it. Who's more right? No, they're both wrong. It's a shortcoming. Okay, so we're talking about shadow work versus a non-dual oak, you can say. Like that word. Which side are you on? First thing, determine where's your shortcoming, and then you work on it. Because the goal here isn't, you don't want to totally bypass this human condition, these human limitations, nor do you want to totally identify with the non-dual spiritual character that thinks it's got it. Because it's ego playing both of those roles. So which side are you on? And that can change also, given the moment. Maybe one day or 1 week or 1 year, you're more in the non-dual oak side. I think it's interesting, and I'm happy that there's been more than a few consults that I've done where the people have admitted, they're like, damn, I used to be a non-dual oak. I think that's cool, that they're talking to me now and not back then. Well, you can't talk to me if you're a non-dual oak now. You'll debate with me. Say, hey man, you're talking like the video I made about the trauma. Say, look, but there's actually, it doesn't matter if you work on trauma or don't work on trauma. There's really nobody here working on it or not working on it. They start talking these absolute non-dual talk. It's like not helpful for anybody, number one. Number two, if somebody really has that realization, let me tell you, you're not going to go around saying it like that. You just don't say it. It's private. It's secret. Like, you don't do that. It's mind saying that. So, identity with emotions or identity with the spiritual character. Let your intuition guide you what you need to work on, and then intuition will guide you how to work on it. Intuition guides everything. The mind doesn't know how to do that kind of work. The mind knows how to do more practical work. I'm going to go buy a ticket online. Okay, so look, I need to put my credit card number. Which credit card should I use? Oh, I get points if I use that credit card. Okay, I'm going to use that one. The mind can do stuff like that. But when it comes to self-discovery, self-realization, mind has nothing, doesn't know anything about that, because you're trying to realize the source that created this human construct, which includes the mind. How is the mind going to understand its source? It can't. You have to bypass the mind and go direct to the source. And intuition is like the headquarters, or the bridge that's allowing that to be possible. This is how the game was set up. Super high level software, isn't it? Like, Jesus. So when you don't bypass your emotions and you look at that stuff, and even if it gets crazy, people can get crazy. Emotions are super strong. Ask a woman. They can get super strong. Don't judge yourself. At least you're feeling it. You have to go through that. You have to get current. You get current in yourself is what happens. Most people, they're not current. They're like walking time bombs, especially in America. Why all the road rage? Because they're already in rage. Even though they get up in the morning and he kisses his wife, oh, I love you kids, gets in the car, guy cuts him off. It's immediate. Why? Because that situation, it unlocked, gave expression to his already existing rage. So were you going to bypass that and take a yoga class or listen to a non-dual video? See, that's the dark side of non-duality, actually. So you want to get current with your human state, and then simultaneously also be aware as best as you can. You might not be able to have much awareness of awareness if your human construct self is too burdened with restless energy and suppression. You might have to let that dissolve to a certain degree before these spiritual practices can make any sense to you. I see a lot of people, they get into a spiritual practice too quick. Why? Because the ego likes that idea. It's like, oh, great. I don't want to do this messy human-bound earth work. This person's just telling me like that doesn't really exist, and there's nobody here. Let's just do that. But they never get it. They'll never get it. The mind will try to understand existential principles that are a state that's being pointed to. How are you going to get it? You're not going to realize it. You're just going to keep spinning and think, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get it? Most of them don't get it either. So they attract each other. You got to do the earthbound work to get to a semblance of balance, and then all that stuff won't be like rolling around in your subconscious mind, eclipsing your greater nature, so that then you're sensitive enough you can start to drop into this. Because all those boulders, this lock, suppression, and darkness and repression and all that has like dismantled to a degree. So then this wisdom can flow easier, or the heart-mind connection. It's not obstructed anymore. Like this path, there's a lot of obstructions on it. So you clean it, and then the path it's less obstructed. So then you can say the fusion between your human body-mind construct self it can be merged more easy with your formless nature. This is the real definition, you can say, of a spiritual awakening. But we have to do that work. So, are you doing that work? Let me know. See you.